Garage workers and mechanics deal with brakes and clutches on a daily basis. These and any other friction areas in equipment frequently, even to this day, have asbestos pads or liners. When the equipment is replaced or serviced, millions of asbestos fibers can be released into the air. Cleaning drum brakes with compressed air can release 16 million fibers in the 1 cubic meter of air around the garage worker's face. Since so much of the work being done in a garage is done by a mechanic or worker who is under the vehicle being serviced, those fibers can fall directly into the garage worker's face. Almost any work done on brakes or clutches will release fibers in large enough numbers to potentially cause disease. Asbestos fibers are so small that they can't be seen. If a garage worker does see dust when working brakes or clutch facings, he's actually seeing thousands of the fibers clumped together. The asbestos fibers stick to the hair and clothing of the garage workers, who then unknowingly expose their families when the asbestos dust comes off in their cars and during the laundering of their clothes. Since most household vacuums don't have fine enough filters to trap asbestos dust, vacuuming actually makes the exposure worse, since the dust becomes airborne where anyone in the household can inhale it. Asbestos is a carcinogen. When it enters the body, it gets embedded in the lungs or in the membranes that surround the lungs. Initially, the asbestos causes irritation in the tissue. Over a period of time, the irritation can turn to scarring that creates its own health and breathing problems. As with all carcinogens, every time a person is exposed to that carcinogen, there is some risk that cancer will result. Higher exposures, or more frequent exposures, make the risk even greater. Furthermore, since asbestos is still legal in the United States, OSHA has concluded that regardless of the regulations put into place, and regardless of how carefully those regulations are followed, there will be additional cases of mesothelioma as a result of asbestos exposure due to work with friction materials like those found in brake pads. Mesothelioma is a rare cancer of the membrane that surrounds the lungs and lines the chest and caused by asbestos. Like many asbestos-related diseases, mesothelioma has an extremely long latency period. It usually does not manifest until 20, 30, or more years after the asbestos exposure. The first symptom of mesothelioma is shortness of breath during exercise. This is such a nonspecific complaint that few people pay it any attention. As the cancer progresses, the symptoms become more noticeable. Difficulty catching one's breath even while at rest, and increasingly severe chest pain. When mesothelioma is caught early, doctors can try to remove the tumor and its surrounding tissue to prevent the cancer from spreading. If the cancer has already metastasized, doctors usually try a combination of chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery to try to slow the growth of the tumor and to treat the symptoms of mesothelioma. There is no cure, however, and few people live more than 2 years after being diagnosed with the disease. Since there is such a long latency period, and since the consequence of not catching mesothelioma early is deadly, anyone who has been employed as a garage worker or brake mechanic, and anyone who has lived with or been in frequent close contact with a garage worker's work clothes or work car, should seek yearly medical evaluations to detect early-stage mesothelioma before it has a chance to fully develop. Thank you for watching. This video was produced by Asbestos.Net, a leading resource on all aspects of asbestos and mesothelioma. Our priority is to inform victims about the devastating effects of asbestos exposure, mesothelioma, asbestos cancer, asbestosis, and other asbestos-related diseases, and to advise them with a wealth of information. Individuals whose lives have been touched by mesothelioma have numerous questions and concerns. Their caregivers and family members also need accurate, reliable information. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos cancer and need more information, we invite you to visit and explore the thousands of pages of oncologist-reviewed material on Asbestos.net, to call our convenient toll-free number shown below and speak with a mesothelioma specialist, or to use the simple contact form found at Asbestos.net to request a free copy of our informative books, custom inserts, and DVD. Asbestos.net. Information and help for patients and families.